Electrocast.
Tomorrow.
I love him. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same.
Experience the greatest love story of all time.
Why did you leave me?
Why did you betray your own heart?
A film by Emerald Fennell.
Heathcliff.
Kathy.
Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi.
Kiss me and let us both be damned.
Wuthering Heights. Original songs by Charlie XCX. Only in theaters tomorrow. Experience it in IMAX. Rated R. Under 17. Not admitted without parent.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Hold on to your butts.
We are changing the course of history as we see it. That is what Western demands.
Now this affects Iris. Iris, where are you?
What you feel only matters to you. I do not entertain hypotheticals. The world as it is vexing enough.
Iris, I have a tip for you.
Don't take drugs!
Or Whatever Movies with Wesley and Iris.
What up and welcome to Or Whatever Movies. I'm your co-host, Iris, and I'm here with my older brother,
Wesley.
Today we're talking a movie from 2025, Academy Award nominated. It must be a dude thing, Train Dreams.
It must be no, this is a Best Picture nominee thing for the Academy Awards. 12:48 p.m. today. The sneak texts me, "Did you like Train Dreams?" So I sent her emojis of a train and two train cars behind it, and then a bunch of Z's, like instead of steam or something. And she responded, "It looks like something you'd love. It looks depressing and old-timey."
That about sums it up. You can use the little puffs of smoke like fart emojis for steam. Why Z's? Because you were
Train
sleeping?
Dreams, dude.
Oh, dreams.
He only had one dream about a train, though. Was he dreaming in his old age while on the train? Because the very first dream, the kind of scary one, was the only train dream that I discerned.
I do like titles. I don't find any deeper meaning in Train Dreams, other than it's kind of dreamy and he rides trains like he symbolically, aimlessly goes through life.
Train Dreams wasn't high on my list, but if the Academy is going to give recognition to smaller films or art house films, this is a nice one. Like, hey, It's not just Top Gun Maverick or The Dark Knight or something. We put Train Dreams in there, remember? That was meditative and as the sneak put it, sad and old-timey.
And slightly more coherent than Anemone.
Anemone.
Anemone?
Slightly more coherent. Maybe simpler.
I mean, they're both hermits in the woods, imparting life lessons or struggling against the futility of life.
Robert Grenier didn't impart shit, dude. He didn't tell you. He wasn't interested in learning you nothing.
It's true. He don't give no advice. I want to live where Robert Grenier lives. Is it sunset or sunrise there constantly?
Yeah.
Does he live in like one of the poles? What's
It has
happening?
It's actually shot about 40 miles away from Seattle, and Snoqualmie, where the waterfall is in that area, was mostly where it filmed. And if you look at it from that perspective, you're like, oh, obviously, that's the Pacific Northwest with the logging industry and all that. In the world of Train Dreams, that could have been that's heaven or purgatory or whatever. That's the mystical forest of old Lothlorien.
Clint Bentley was like, quick, we got 20 minutes to shoot this whole movie.
Right? And indeed, almost completely natural light. And thus, it's got to be low in the sky and in frame and penetrating and godlight and all that stuff at all times.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it was beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. But does that a story make?
That does not a story make. Who did you say? Who were you just talking about?
Clint Bentley, director-writer Clint Bentley.
You mean the director of Train Dreams who is like 5 years younger than you?
What is that supposed to mean?
I'm just saying, the dude is like, he was born in 1985, and I was like, what? Anyway.
Acclaimed director, Clint Bentley.
I mean, acclaimed because of Train Dreams.
That's what it says on the trailer.
He did co-write the screenplay for Sing Sing. So this is now his second Academy Award nomination for Best Screenplay.
Gosh, screenplay? Really? I mean, story light on the Train Dreams is what I'm getting at.
Are you kidding? It was 80 years in the scope of, 93 minutes or something?
Does he get that old?
I don't know. He was pretty old. I think he got to 80.
Yeah, he takes the plane ride well before 70, and then he just sat by the window for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So we talked in one of our daily doses of whatever, our interview styles, about how the people we watch movies with influences the way we watch movies. We should do another one about how just like recommendations influence how we watch a movie. Brian loved this movie. Loved it. He's also kind of a sucker for cinematography and can confuse that, I think, sometimes with storytelling, but loved this movie. And then afterwards, I was just like, why? And I think it's because it was kind of a dude thing. He talked about being a dude out in the wilderness and like being a dude and having a family. And I kind of superimposed Brian's face, like wandering through the forest. Like, is that what he's doing when he's poking around the house? Is he just having train dreams?
Do you think that Brian could pull off a beard of that magnitude?
I mean, left to his own devices in the forest. Yeah.
Maybe.
It's cold out there.
He'd need to put on some insulation, though, if he's going to survive those harsh winters.
True. I joke often that Brian's like a cabin without insulation because he gets so hot in the summer and he's like, ugh, and,
I feel that.
And then like the Ohio comes out in him and he cranks up the AC to like the lowest.
The lowest one
like
allowable by his wife. That's definitely a dude thing.
And then in the winter, he's freezing.
Is it a dude thing? I mean, this isn't a dude movie.
I'm asking you.
There's no way that this is a dude. The bros aren't like, let's get a beer and go watch Train Dreams. This is a dream of men that women would have and assume that their dream dude is like. Like he's all sensitive and would never get over your passing and like would just lurch around the woods and be all sad.
Mm-hmm.
But
you can relate to that.
And when it comes to recommendations, it was only recommended to me by the Academy, recognizing it as a potential Best Picture winner, which it's not going to be, unfortunately. Maybe not unfortunately, but you know, I watched it because it was a Best Picture nominee. But in terms of like coming at it from like a dude perspective, in a way, Robert kind of resonated with me because this one, along with The Secret Agent, I watched in Kelly's absence, the longest we've ever been apart, but for all intents and purposes, dead to me. And it's miserable. It's miserable. And I don't know what I'm doing. And I didn't shave for a long time, but day and night blend, memory and reality. They flirt with each other in a weird way. It's difficult to pin down. But he was a hermit before he was a grieving hermit. So it's just like she came into his life and filled it with love and color and flowers and stuff. And then after she was gone, he regressed and eventually rebuilt the house exactly in the same place and maybe exactly the same way, just so she would have a place to land on the small chance, the slightest of chances that she would return. So yeah, that resonated with me. But this is a movie that everyone involved seems to take super personally. I don't know about Clint, our director, but definitely Joel Edgerton, who is the very quietest of things in super high-profile movies. He's like content to be forever the character actor, or when he is in leading roles, they're more quiet. They're kind of bearded and sorrowful and stuff, at least from my experience.
Joel Edgerton would make a great Bram Stoker. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty good. He's Australian, so that might be a leap to Irish. But maybe not. But he said that he was super personal for him because now he's a dad and he's trying very hard not to spoil the film. But he says basically this role realizes his greatest fear that he wouldn't have had before he became a dad. Because in so many others he has kids but didn't really get the whole thing, but felt like Robert and everything Robert experiences was super personal and real for him. And that must have made it not fun because Robert most of the time ain't having a good time.
So this is a movie about realizing your worst fear?
For Joel Edgerton, it definitely was. It was the stumbling block, and the color of which permeates every aspect of his being, for the rest of his life. And this vague hope, like OJ said he was going to go find the killers, right? And somebody said, are you going to look for them on all the golf courses of America? Like, what was Robert doing? Like, first thing you do is you sift through the ashes. It wouldn't have completely disintegrated, carbonized their bones. They wouldn't have erased all evidence of them. Or you look in the surrounding area. He did pace through the woods and stuff, but you can determine how far they got, if they got away, if they're not there, especially if you have years. He had to level that foundation to rebuild that house. And the fact that they were just nowhere was crazy.
Basically, you're saying that this is a story about a dude who had no purpose, found some purpose, and then found purpose in not having a purpose?
Maybe not even that deep, bruh. Maybe it's just a simple story. Here is Robert. This is what happened to Robert. Robert went back to the old Robert, but he lived the rest of his days remembering that brief glimpse where he was more than just Robert. That was my voiceover narration.
It was pretty good. And then he briefly encountered the connectedness of all things, and that maybe makes life, an otherwise forgotten life, worth it?
Did he, though? Did it? Was it deep, bruh? Or was it just a simple story about a simple guy, and does that deserve to be told? Did you derive deeper meaning from Train Dreams? Did it stay with you? Is it profound?
This is why I think it's a dude thing. More than the lumberjacking and the dadding and the, being manly out in the woods-ing. It's the simplicity that I feel like makes this a dude thing. Is that genderist?
It's simple film it's deceptive because they all seem simple. They're not simple people. Joel Edgerton he's wise and he's humble and he's done a bunch of projects where he doesn't play the super smartest guy in the room, but he's there and he's reliable. I like William H. Macy very much. But maybe it was for the people who didn't need the complications, who were like, you sit out on the porch and you see the same view of the trees night after night, and you're like, this is good. This is what life's about, Maybe it's for those people who don't need or want the big drama of one battle after another.
It's returning to a simpler time and a simpler era of filmmaking.
This is not for the Perfidia Beverly Hillses of the world.
Nothing flashy about Train Dreams. Although the trailer makes it look action-packed.
Didn't see it, honestly. And I think that's what the sneak was referring to. The sneak watched it to make sure it wasn't gross or scary or that she would be able to handle it, which seems to me like a sad way to go about movie watching, but whatever.
So what does the Katie returning home thing all about?
Was it Katie?
Was it to illustrate his mental degradation and losing grip on reality, to show the blending of dream and reality, to give him some form of hope?
Was it real, though? Like, you can search for the bones in the wreckage. You can look to see if the dowels or the pieces of wood that you broke or whatever he ripped up to make that splint, you can see if he actually ripped that stuff, if he really did that, or if it was a dream. Was there dirt from the ground, from her body in the sheets? Did it really happen? I don't know. But I was sitting there. Maybe we're not supposed to derive deep meaning from what happens to Robert. Maybe he just goes through his life. People come in and out of it who have greater or at least different purposes. And we bring our own challenges in life and we parallel our challenges with Robert's. I know I did. And I was like, that's the message of Train Dreams. And it's really what it's about, because it's not about, wait, who the hell is that? Who the hell is this girl? That is not his daughter. Why would he think that girl is his daughter? Like, did she hobble in on a broken leg and then collapse? And then when he set that leg, did she then hobble away on her own? I was like, what the hell is this? And it felt almost like an inciting incident 4 hours and 23 minutes into the film.
It's just very telling that if Robert Grenier is going to fantasize, this is what he fantasizes about. Some broken young woman to just kind of hobble in so that he can fix him and he can be sad and then she can leave. I mean, it's just very telling. But when you said, who the hell was that? I didn't think you were talking about Katie or his ostensible return of Katie. I thought you were going to talk about the Fu Sheng character. The Chinese railroad worker who when he makes his third or fourth appearance by the campfire, after Robert Grenier's all busted up, I'm sorry, but I laughed out loud. He's kind of got that same expression. You know what I was laughing about? It was actually the actor, like how the actor maintained such a serious face, that same serious face every time. They're like, hey, Alfred, come, it's your scene. And then he would like sit there stoically and they'd be like, great, we got it. And then they just repurposed that same thing for every time he appeared by a campfire. What was that about?
So he was the one they threw off the bridge. Obviously, he was a specter throughout the rest of the movie. But the first time it happened, I didn't really get a great look. They were sawing, and he wasn't the main character or whatever. So I was like, okay, he's sawing with a Chinese guy who were known to be hired on railroads. We don't know what he did. If, in fact, he did anything, it's not great to assume. He was justified throwing him off the bridge, which doesn't happen, by the way, in the Train Dreams novella. So when it happened, I wasn't in this dreamy space yet. So when he went back and sat down, I thought there was another Chinese guy looking at him like judging him.
No.
Like, I saw you. You didn't even know what he did. And you still threw him off the thing. And I was
He didn't throw him off. He tried to rescue him.
Well, no, he picked up his legs and then he got kicked for his trouble. If he was trying to rescue, that dude wouldn't have kicked him.
Maybe. I interpreted him grabbing his legs to mean that he was trying to yank him free. But if he was trying to help them carry him away, maybe that makes more sense, that now he feels cursed because he was complicit.
It would have been pretty unfair to be haunted by the dude that you were trying to save.
But he didn't save him. That's the point. Is the movie Train Dreams trying to say that it's not fair to just haul people out of their work for no reason, assuming that they're a criminal just because they look different and may have immigrated to our country?
I honestly don't believe that commentary exists. We can bring that stuff and we can say, look how mistreated they were. They were cheap hired labor and obviously disposable or dispensable, or what's Sylvester Stallone's word? Expendable. If they are even perceived to have done something wrong without a trial or without any kind of sense of justice or innocence until proven guilty, they just chucked him off the train thing. And I was like, ooh, that's not good.
That was in line with the vigilante justice of the dude who kills the Bible thumper for killing his brother.
Exactly what I was saying, what I was thinking. When that guy got shot, that was exactly how long I was willing to put up with the Bible thumper. I was like, oh, he died at exactly the right time.
Oh, Wes, stop.
Whether or not the Chinese guy was innocent was irrelevant. They even said his name. I didn't note it down because he's irrelevant. It was just the machinations of the world happening around Robert that weren't really his concern. Sometimes he gets lumped in with a group, or sometimes he makes an effort to try to connect or whatever, and he gets kicked for his troubles kind of consistently. So when that dude came into camp and killed the Bible thumper, that's just a whole odyssey that dude is on. And Robert was like putting up with the Bible thumping and then like watched in wonder as the guy got shot and then kind of went on with his life. And he's like, well, that doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm going to go home and see my wife and kids. So I don't think there were lessons. I just think that this was like Forrest Gump, but with one R. Get it? Get it? Like the world and history is happening around Forrest. In this case, Robert. Like Forrest with one R because he's in the forest, because he's a logger? No? Hello?
Seriously?
Were there lessons, or is it what you gleaned, what you brought to the movie and got in return?
Well, typically, structure-wise, the theme can be derived from the B story, and I think that's with Arn Peoples, if not with... Or is it with his wife and his daughter? I think it's with Arn Peoples, who's like subtle voice of folk wisdom in Robert's life, who Robert finds comfort with, like he does with his wife. You know, he's just saying, Arn, just tell me a story. I just want to hear you. Basically, I just want to hear your voice.
Right.
And what is Arn telling him? Arn's telling him folksy stuff.
He's literally providing only the color in these guys. He's there to work, but he doesn't work. He makes it so he doesn't have to work. And as long as he keeps talking, and if he's entertaining, except when they're trying to sleep, they'll let Arn stick around. But then the world, like karmically, Arn can't be left to stand. He can't go around telling tales forever and not expect to be, get away with not working.
All the people around Robert are kind of relics from the past. Arn Peoples is already so neglected and forgotten. The guy at the end who forgets that Arn Peoples is dead. I think he was there when he was killed by the tree, or when he was brained by the tree.
Yeah, and he talked to Robert. He gave the eulogy.
Oh, that's right. So, he's basically dead man walking. Is that the right term?
Sure. That's not.
I assume
the term it can apply.
He's basically already dead. And then there's Ignatius Jack, who I assume is Native American, has found his place. Am I being racist? Has found his place, in this community, but also represents a time bygone. And is it basically that, Robert was always of the old time, never quite fit in his time. And when he passed, it was a quiet passing that reunited him with a timelessness.
I'm with all of that. I think that he was a man of his time, but it was a quiet time before all the loudness of the moon landing and all that kind of stuff, which didn't have, these are major events in modern history that had no bearing on his life whatsoever. He was like, it was a wonder that he got up in that plane, but that may have been a hallucination or a dream or whatever. Do you think he really went up in the plane? Because the dude said, and I quote, $1 to go up in that plane.
No, it was $1 to go
see the world as only the birds do.
I think it was $1 to go into the freak show, where it was just the kid dressed up as an animal, but it was $4 to go up into the plane, which would have been exorbitant for Robert.
No, not in the 60s. Do you know how much it costs to go up in a plane right now?
Was it in the 60s? It felt like this whole thing, didn't this whole movie take place in the 20s or the 10s or something?
So I dated it. Halley's Comet showed up in the 80s for us. With its trajectory, it also showed up in 1910. And I remembered that because this is in the dirt in America, as opposed to England, where in 1910 it was the age of men. That was the setting for Mary Poppins. So I remember the date, and it happened around the time of the moon landing and stuff, because it inspired him to actually take that ride, to see something that he had never seen, that was completely apart from his typical existence, never having left the ground, never really having left the area. It said that he lived until around 80 in that same area, never once leaving.
We've talked about period films having anachronistic music or dialogue. It was like Robert was the anachronism in Train Dreams, in an evolving world where he just never changed.
And maybe that's the rub, because obviously the world is going to change around him. You saw the Assassination of Judge James by the Coward Robert Ford.
I don't think so.
Well, it's from the very beginning, from the opening frames, there's a narration. There was no narration in Forrest Gump, but this consistently reminded me of the Assassination of Judge James by the Coward Robert Ford. The difference is Jesse James is a storied outlaw of legend who kind of got mixed up with the myths of the legendary gunfighter versus who the guy actually was, albeit played in a dramatic movie by Brad Pitt. But Robert is nobody. Why are we focusing? Is this the voice of God? Why is God narrating Robert's life for us?
We're remembering a life for the moment that it connected with other life, and that's somehow important or worthy or human.
This is our natural inclination to grasp at whatever we can to justify the making of Train Dreams.
Is Train Dreams a Western?
No. I get what you're saying. It does take place in the West, technically, the Northwest. But he also said, despite the fact that his wife had a gun and shot stuff and they were hunting together, that the narrator said that Robert had never bought a gun. That was weird. Nothing crazy happened in Train Dreams, but I was happy that everyone showed up and I enjoyed listening to everyone talk.
People got brained. They got shot. They got thrown off of bridges. Nothing happens in Train Dreams?
Well, I mean, plot-wise, I was looking for the inciting incident. It wasn't the railroad guy dying or whatever. 15 minutes in, he had the scary train dream. But was that it? Was it finding the wife? Was it losing the wife and child? But maybe not. What happened in Train Dreams that propelled it forward? Robert's beating heart is the only thing that pushed him forward through the world of Train Dreams. He was alive, and he had to get up and go to work, or otherwise he would starve, and that's what Train Dreams was about. I thought that it was going to be a red savior movie. Can I say that? If you can say white savior movie, isn't it a red savior movie when the guy that he once showed a kindness to can repay the favor or whatever?
Did he show a kindness to Ignatius Jack?
There was
because
something
Ignatius
that he
Jack,
did.
if I recall, gave him bread.
But there was the guy he was nice to, and he was like the Chinese guy, maybe a little bit on the outside, kind of a fringe guy. And so they became buddies, and I thought maybe this was a red savior movie. And then I thought, is this a dog savior movie? Like, is it going to become a dude with his dogs, kind of white fang
those dogs
movie?
were cute.
Right? Super
Red dog
cute.
and her puppies, cute.
But a little bit convenient. And then at one point, didn't the dog come running out of the house like Felicity Jones? Like he was gone for a long time and the puppy was holding it down?
Yeah, and then the dog jumped up and straddled him.
Right. Ew.
Yeah, and also when he was sick, he seemed like he was sick for an eternity, or I thought that's how he's going to go, like quietly with a gasp in the woods kind of a thing. But then no, he gets back up and he trudges in the snow to go find Carrie Condon, not with the dog, but the dog was who was taking care of the dog?
I don't know.
Who fished for the dogs while he was sick?
He was gone for, I think there was even smoke coming out of the chimney when he returned after a significant length of time. I don't know, man. How did he get sick? How did he get sick? You need to have interactions with other people.
I think he got sick from Carrie Condon, who had just come in from Europe. She brought like the European plague with her. He gave her a ride from the airport, and then he was like, "Are you Carrie Condon?" And he was like, "Yeah, you're my Uber." And they went to her tower.
But she was American.
And she brought the COVID, Wes.
Right. And though he didn't know it then, he would always look back at this time of his life, as the happiest. And I'm like, uh-oh, something's going to happen.
That's really...
It did happen for sure, and that was the happiest time of his life, but it's just ebb and flow. It's just rise and fall in a seemingly insignificant life. It was like a screensaver, and that doesn't mean that there aren't people in screensavers, but what they do is of no real importance, and they detract ultimately from the beauty, as he was indeed defacing the land, as the other dude said. He was wrong that you have enough trees to cut down for 1,000 years, and by that time, the new growth will be back to the old growth or whatever. No, logging is a serious thing, and he was defacing nature, and they were all doing it for the dime, and they were chucking people off bridges because they could, and I don't know, like, was he morally centered or whatever? Were we supposed to love him and be like, oh, I hope he hooks up with the Firewatch gal because he deserves it, and maybe it'll help him move on or whatever. He didn't do any of that. He was like respectful and stuff, and
he was paying for his sins of raping the natural world.
Wow.
He wasn't a good guy.
In what way did he pay? Just he was sad?
Yeah, and with his sadness. I did not see the tree people seal of approval that no trees were harmed in the making of Train Dreams at the end of this film.
But to be absolutely fair, the director did say that the crew was great about finding trees that the Forest Service said were going to be cut down anyway. But neither here nor there. It has to stand on its own as a dramatic narrative, Train Dreams. But man, I was like, no sweat. It's 7 o'clock. I'm going to watch Train Dreams. I'm going to be done by 8:30. Got plenty of time to do plenty of stuff. It took me 3 days, it felt like, to watch this 90-minute movie.
But not really.
It
not
went
really, though.
It was 80 years long. I hate to say it because it's beautiful dregs, but kind of the dreg, like I watched Triangle of Sadness, available on Hulu, only because it was a Best Picture nominee. And because we have to do our diligence and round out the totality of the nominees, as does anyone who expects me to watch the goddamn Oscars. Who is Train Dreams for? The people who don't want blood and guts and who are okay with it being kind of story light and absolutely gorgeous. Because you know what else was gorgeous? The Revenant. And that's different. This is the anti-Revenant, where it's all beautiful and shot in natural light, but nothing really terrible happens. All the blood and guts and people getting brained and chucked off stuff happens far away, or you don't see like the real, the moment of death. So I don't know. Does it get a pass? Because it's pretty sure. Did I enjoy watching Train Dreams? I did, but with this disquieting feeling that I was missing something significant in the experience, and that's not a good thing.
Felicity Huffman in her second Best Picture nominee 2 years in a row.
Pretty messed up that the world would torment Robert, who didn't really do anything to anyone, that it would torment him so consistently throughout his life. Like hearing the voices and seeing the visions, that seems horrible, given that it wasn't his fault, that he was constantly concerned with how far away he was. Well, he wasn't Bill Shakespeare piecing out to Stratford-upon-Avon or whatever. He was worried and pained every time he had to leave. And then they got caught in the fire during his leave, and he blamed himself for it. Robert didn't deserve to go through all that. Why did the world do it to Robert? Why are Clint, what's-his-name, and team doing this to us for Train Dreams? It's beautiful, but it's sad.
And that's our discussion on Train Dreams, Academy Award nominated Best Picture. And you can check out our discussion on all of the Best Picture nominees or whatevermovies.com or wherever you get podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Tap the banner or visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
Hey guys, it's your girl Yasia. I want to share some really exciting news with you. I just dropped my first ever single, Spell on You, off my upcoming debut EP, Devil's Room, on RM Records. It's simply devilicious. Check out Spell on You wherever you listen to music. Bye for now.
I never thought I'd fall in love like this. It's time to close the chapter, but I think I needed this.
Electricast.